Hello and welcome to the Awakened Spirit YouTube channel. My name is Melanie Sheree. I'm a lifelong medium and spiritual teacher, and today I'm going to be talking about my near-death experience, which catapulted me into a secondary spiritual awakening. And if you're somebody who is highly sensitive into spirit, into tarot, into spiritual development, psychic abilities, spiritual awakening, you're going to want to hang out for this video. So this all started when I was a bit younger and I had come off of being on antidepressants for a very long time. And if you'd like the whole backstory, you should check out this video, which is about being psychic so that you can get some context for all of the stuff leading up to this moment in my life. But I finally feel like I'm ready to share this very profound experience that I had with all of you. So when I was quite a bit younger, I had set up this trip to go and see this total solar eclipse. And the whole time leading up to the solar eclipse, I kept getting this incredible feeling, whole body knowing and sensation and urgency that this was going to be something really, really big. And, I kind of felt like maybe I was overexcited, but at the same time, I kind of knew on a cellular level that this was going to be a very huge moment for me in my life. Little did I know I was about to have a near-death experience. And what ended up happening was I traveled to go and see the eclipse. And the day before the eclipse, I was outside. It was sunny. I was probably a little bit dehydrated. It was during the summer. And I came inside because I was feeling kind of faint. And I came inside to get some water. I walked up to the sink and I lost consciousness and fainted. And in that moment that I lost consciousness, I remember being catapulted out of my body through the proverbial white tunnel. And as I was in this white tunnel, I saw myself and all of my incarnations of consciousness. And it began with me being a drop of water, the consciousness of a drop of water. And then I grew into a blade of grass. And this blade of grass progressed into a very large tree. I became the consciousness of the tree. And then I became the consciousness of the wildlife all around the scene. And as I progressed in that awareness of that consciousness, I was catapulted into a full recollection of my entire life in less than a second. And it was the seeing, knowing, feeling, and experiencing, reliving everything all over again. But from the point of view that I knew exactly why every moment of pain and every moment of joy had happened for me. And it all made sense. As I was catapulted through the proverbial reliving of my entire life flashing before me, I found myself out in what looked like outer space. So if you could imagine a whole bunch of stars floating around, and in that space, I knew that I had left my body. And the only other thing in that next moment that I knew was that all I felt was this permeating, incredible, beyond words, euphoric, unconditional love. And I'm going to try to not cry. I'm going to try to not cry. And as I noticed that ever present, the most deep, profound, words cannot describe unconditional love, I was home. It was like coming home finally after the longest, most trying journey to somebody you had been waiting to see for your entire life, and being warmly embraced in vibrant, colorful, vivid, beyond real joy at such a deep and profound level. And as I noticed that, I heard a voice, and I'm looking out in the stars in the galaxy, and there's one single focal point of light, and all of these stars seem to be gathering around the single focal point of light. And I noticed that each and every one of these stars was a consciousness. It was a person, it was a being, it was an animal, it was the whole spectrum of consciousnesses surrounding this source, light energy of unconditional love. And as I noticed that, I got this instant download from that hello, from that source light. And in that hello, in that acknowledgement of me, all of the sudden, I knew the words to every song ever written. I knew the answers to every mathematical equation ever pondered. I knew the answers to all of life's deepest questions. It all made sense. And as I got that download of all of that information and all of my lifetimes and all of the iterations of me as a consciousness, that source light spoke to me again and said, now that you know, do you want to stay here or do you want to go back? And this is where I'm getting kind of emotional because, my pure consciousness self, my non-physical form self who was disconnected from the pain of being human, where things don't go your way, where relationships are hard, where life is sometimes a struggle. That pure consciousness self, me, responded, I want to go back. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I didn't get to do what I came here to do. I had to pause there for a second to wipe makeup out of my eyes. So, if you look at other people's near-death experiences, oftentimes they will describe a very similar thing to what I just described. And every time I see videos or watch content about other people's near-death experiences, I relive those moments in that near-death experience. And it gives me full body chills. It takes me back to that moment, and it takes me back to the immersion of being purely in spirit with source and in that unconditional love. And oftentimes you'll hear people describe the tunnel, that same sort of scenery of consciousness, life flashing before their eyes, and that deep unconditional love. So again, if you're somebody who's into this type of content and you want to hear all of my crazy stories about being psychic, being highly sensitive, and the other near-death experiences that I've had, be sure to like and subscribe. So as I told Source that I had to come back for more of this human experience, I was catapulted back into my body, and I was being shaken awake on the floor from one of my friends that was there. And a couple of people had gathered around me and they were asking if I was okay. I couldn't really hear what they were saying in that moment because I was still half in spirit and half in the body. And the best way that I could describe what I was seeing at that time was that as I opened my eyes, everybody and everything that I saw was transparent. The floor was transparent, the cabinets were transparent, the people standing in front of me speaking to me were transparent, and I could still see out into the universe and the stars. And I could see the interwoven fabric of the nature of our reality with spirit. And the experience that I had was so much more real than my waking life, that I was still processing what I had experienced. So at some point, I started noticing what they were saying to me, telling me that I'd fainted, telling me that I'd been out for a little bit, telling me that, am I okay? What's going on? And as I'm looking at them, I start to notice these energy centers moving through their bodies. Their bodies were transparent. I could see energy flowing through their bodies. I could see their chakra system. I could see the coding and the fabric of the matrix that makes up them, the physical forms and the ground, the carpet, the walls, the sink. It all had this very Alex Gray art vibe. And I'm watching all of that energy flowing through them and moving, and I'm trying to explain my experience. And they thought that I had lost it. They told me to go lay down. And I was afraid to fall asleep or take a nap or do anything other than sit up, because it was starting to dawn on me that I had just had a near-death experience, and I was trying to explain that experience, and my body was going into full panic because I was trying to describe everything that I was seeing, and my friends just thought I was tripping balls. And they were very worried. They weren't sure if they were supposed to call an ambulance. As my body calmed down, I was met again with that energy of that unconditional love and knowing and certainty about myself in the world in a way that I'd never experienced in my life. And I felt so deeply connected to our waking world and life itself and everything that is. And that feeling persisted for several days after my near-death experience. I did get to see and experience the solar eclipse, which was profound. I had a newfound love for myself and for life, and a knowing of what is waiting for me when I'm no longer here in the body. And that knowing and awareness of spirit, I think, is such a deep piece that we're missing in our day-to-day lives today. We're so far disconnected from our own inherent magic and connection to magic that we only see it in things like media and in video games and TV shows and things like Harry Potter. And the thing is, when you're connected to the world of spirit, when you're accessing your intuition, when you're seeing energy and understanding how that energy affects your physical reality, you're tapping into the very fabric of the universe, and you're able to shift that physical reality. And that experience, a lot of times I like to call my second spiritual awakening. I came into the world very sensitive and psychic and tried to make it kind of go away for a long time. And after that experience, my life took a beyond 360-degree turn into full force, learning how to develop, own, and master my sensitivity as a highly sensitive soul. So if you're somebody who's highly sensitive and you'd like to do that, I have all of these different offerings that I've linked below in the description. I also have an Instagram at _awakened.spirit, where you can DM me anytime to get linked up for those services or get connected for free classes. Teach a lot of different intuitive development classes, run healing clinics. Both of those offerings allow you to come in for your first healing clinic for free and for your first class for free. And I also do a women's intuitive training program. All of that, again, is linked down below. Thank you so much for being here and listening to all of that. I hope that For some of you, it brings you great peace. And I believe that's one of 4 near-death experiences that I've had. So I will be posting the others here at some point. So if you'd like to be notified when those things come out, if you'd like to hear other crazy stories about being psychic and having wild experiences with spirit, be sure to like and subscribe. I love you all so much. I hope that you are well, and talk to you soon.